Hi, I'm Jasky. I'm one of the directors at K2 Audiovisual. I want to thank you for allowing us to do a training session at your school. We understand it is a big investment for you and we want to make sure that it can go the distance and you can use it for collaboration and learning as best as you can. K2 Audiovisual, as you know, we're a specifically education-based business primarily. We've done over 2,000 plus classrooms in the past, worked in 250 schools, and collectively we have about 70 years of audiovisual knowledge. So I'll hand you over to the expert, Daria, your product trainer.
Hi, Dario from K2 Audiovisual. I'm the product trainer, and we're going to go through some of the features of the Promethean interactive panels. Now, there are two Promethean interactive panels. You've got the titanium, which is the one we have here, and there is the nickel. So with the titanium, as far as the ergonomics of it go, you have all the controls in a centralized panel right here. It's very easy to access. We've got power, volume, the Promethean button, screen freeze, and we've got the source button there as well. On the nickel panel, the controls are just as simple, but they're just based on the other side. You've got the two speakers on either side here as well, which are built into the panel. I guess I'll start just at the beginning. What I want to do is just go through step by step of the options within the panel and the menu settings. So to begin with, what we do, we can either tap the Promethean button there, which brings up all the options, or we've got an arrow button here. If we tap on that, it brings that up as well. You've also got the arrow buttons on either side as well to be able to access those options. In the titanium panel, you can actually lock it. So say for example, if a teacher has to step out of the classroom for a moment and she wants to lock the panel so students don't come up and make changes or do anything silly on there, you can go and do it from there. So that's, you can see, can't be touched. I go, put the code back in. When the teacher comes back, unlock, and away she goes. I'll talk to you about the home button first. So if I tap on that, if I'm anywhere within the panel, if I tap on home, it'll always take me back here. So if you ever get lost or if you just want to start the lesson over from scratch, you tap on home and it'll always take you back there. I want to start with the locker. Now the locker is basically where everything is stored on the Promethean panel. We've got the settings, Chromium, which is the built-in version of Chrome on the panel, Adobe Acrobat, the Promethean store, which has 300 plus inbuilt apps into that where you can download onto the panel. Panel management, updates. So for any updates similar to your phone, you can go in there for any software updates or any local updates. You go in there and see what's available to update the panel. The spinner. Now this is a great tool for a classroom. It's something that can be edited to whatever the teacher needs. You can put names in there, which we have in there as well. You can change it to things like colours, alphabet, whatever's needed. And then how it works, you turn that and it lands on Ethan's name, so it's Ethan's job to do something today. So that's a great little tool on there as well. Similarly, we have in there as well a timer. So great for classroom activities where there's different stations for the students to be able to do things. You can have multiple on there. So we can have, say for example, 3, and maybe we've got, as a class, as a teacher, you've got maybe 10 minutes for each activity. That might be reading, writing, maths, whatever it is. And then when the timer goes off, the alarm goes off and you know it's time for them to switch. So that's a handy little built-in tool there as well. Also in Locker, we've got easy access to the whiteboard as well, and a few other options that are built into there. We've got files, so anything that's saved to the panel, any whiteboard files, any kind of things that you save directly to these panels are saved to there. So that's handy as well. We've got some simple settings you can go into, so you can change the volume, you can bring that up and down, the brightness as well, you can adjust that, a few other things, and away you go from there. If we go to the whiteboard, so in this instance, this is probably one of the most popular uses for these interactive panels. It's a built-in electronic whiteboard. So it's got a number of features on the toolbar here, and the toolbar can be changed to either side of the panel depending on what you prefer to teach on. So if I move that over here, so here we've got a split screen, so you can have 2 students at the same time using 2 different colour pens. maybe doing a maths race or a spelling race or something like that you can do. We've got built-in templates, so bear with me. Built-in templates, so we've got graph paper, we've got music manuscript, writing lines, and a few other handwriting patterns in there as well, which is super handy and just takes a bit of the hard work out of the teacher to do that. The next option we have is charts and templates. So we've got things like analog clock face. So if I tap on that, it puts a clock face in there, change them, move them around, change the different sizes, and away you go. And we can go, do the time or something like that on there. Let's go to a new page. And then you've got other things in there like a periodic table, you've got polar graph paper, you've got Venn diagrams, things like that. So that's really handy for teachers to have in there. And you can also add your own templates in there as well. So we go gallery, and anything that you want to save from the computer or from a thumb drive, you can save it there and refer to it any time as well. Then we've got the writing tools. So we've got our pens. You can choose the thickness of your pen from thin to thick, different colours here. So they're your standard writing colours. So we've got blue, red, green, black, yellow. So if we choose, blue, and the writing experience on there is really, really good. And then you can choose your highlighter tool, change the thickness of that as well. And we go yellow, and we want to highlight everything there. So it's a semi-transparent highlighter, like a standard highlighter you would hold here in your hand. And you've got extended colour palettes in there for both as well. So you can choose different colours if you need to. We've got an eraser tool. So you can choose the thickness of your eraser to rub out what you need to do. You can go all the way to thin. And then if you want to, you can just erase all. So tap on that one and away it goes. The last thing within the whiteboard that I'll show you is the maths tools. So we've got the ruler. So I can drag that pretty much anywhere I want to on the board. I can move it around, can make it different sizes. Great for teachers who are wanting to do straight lines on a whiteboard. That'll certainly show you how to do it. You've got your full protractor, where you can do a full circle. Or even a little segment of an angle. And you've got your set square, perfect right angles. Tap on the cross and away it goes. And then you've got your half protractor. That's simple. You can clear it all and then close that down. The next thing I want to show you on here is the annotation and the screen capture. So to do that, what I'm going to go do is hop onto our website, which is the K2 Audiovisual website. So this is live, we're online here. So what I want to show you is how to annotate on something that's on a website or even on a document. So to do this, simply what we do is we tap on annotate, and that'll bring up a little toolbar that's similar to what you've seen in the whiteboard. So that'll allow us to make notes. So we can go, that's great, highlight some things on there if we need to. So highlight this, and give some ticks. Okay, so this is, if you're on like an education website, it's a great tool to be able to do it. Or if you're on a PDF or any kind of Word document, you can certainly do this as well. So what we can do is we can then go capture, which is like a screenshot on your phone. It brings up like that. We can go open in Whiteboard, and that'll bring it up into the whiteboard. You can continue to make notes or annotate or do whatever you like. In this instance, we'll go save or save as, and we can call this test. So you'll see file saved, go new, open, and you'll see test is there, and that's what we've saved. So a really handy tool to be able to refer back to any work you've done previously. So we've got K2 audiovisual website up here. This is a live site, we're online now. So if I go up on that, I want to do screen annotation. So I tap on that and go annotate. That brings up a little toolbar similar to what we had in the whiteboard, which allows me to do things like I can circle, I can write notes, I can highlight, and we can erase as well. So what I want to do and show you how to do it from here. So screen capture, it's very similar to doing a screenshot on your mobile. You go capture, it opens that, open in Whiteboard, and it opens it in there. Where that's really helpful is in a classroom situation, if you're on a classroom or a school website or an education website, if you're making notes or highlighting anything, you can do all that, put it in here, go save as, and then you can call it video test, file saved, let's go new, open, video test is there, and let's open it back up. So that's all by doing screen annotation. So you can do that on any part of the board, wherever you are. You can annotate on any website, on any document, PDF, Word, whatever you've got in there, you can annotate directly on there, capture anything, which means screenshot anything, and load that in the whiteboard and go from there. The next thing I want to show you is source. What source is really going to help you with is in a classroom situation where you've got your classroom computer, having that plugged into the panel. That acts as an extension of your classroom computer to have a giant monitor, but also allows it to be interactive as well. So I've got my laptop here plugged into the panel. I'm going to tap on the source button. It recognises home, which is the panel here, but also HDMI 3. So if I tap on that, it brings up my wallpaper. So you've got everything that you're showing your class, whether it be some kind of presentation or watching a video. And just to show you the level of interactivity as well, we can do annotation directly on here. So anywhere within the panel, you can do annotate and screen capture. So we can choose a pen and we can write So that just shows you what you can do within panel as well. You can highlight, you can do all kinds of things within there as well. So that's all through by showing you on my desktop how you can use it within there. And the last thing I want to be able to show you is how to be able to cast a device to the panel. So there's two ways with the Promethean panel. You've got Activecast. Now Activecast works by way of both the interactive panel, the Promethean, and the student's device or the teacher's device or classroom device have to both be on the same network. Okay, so this can be used if by doing a presentation, if a student has everything connected or saved on their iPhone or iPad or any kind of device, laptop, whatever it might be, they can do it by doing this. So if I go Activecast, my phone is connected to the panel. So if I go screen mirroring, K2 AV Promethean, Dario's iPhone wants to mirror on the screen, and there my device is up on the panel. So a great way that can be used for this is if a student does need to present a project, or the classroom needs to go through any photos they might have done on an excursion or something like that, they can certainly do that through there as well. You can open up photos, all kinds of things, or show PDFs and things like that as well. So I will go stop mirroring and go back to the panel. And the other way you can do the mirroring is through, if we go to the locker and go screen share. Now where this differs with the Activecast is that the device and the panel do not have to be on the same network. So say for example, if a teacher is homesick for the day but still needs to present something to the class, or if a student is homesick and they want to be able to present the project to the class as well, they can do that by putting in this 6-digit code and will cast the device to the panel. So that basically just helps any kind of disconnect between not being in the class and being in the class.